think that's the best view for y'all. I was trying to see if I could set y'all up underneath better, but I think this is probably the best view. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna get the gearbox. We're gonna have to, I've got the steering wheel centered up and the steering wheel locked back on to keep it from moving. So we've got a centered steering wheel. The gearbox is centered up. We are gonna shove it up in here and make sure it's flush up against here, then shove it into the steering shaft, and then we'll start our bolts. And I've got no one here to help me. I've thrown some blue Loctite on the 3 bolts. They're all 3 the same, so hopefully I can get this thing shoved up in there and then get a couple bolts started. I'm gonna just throw the screwdriver under here as well. Worst case scenario, I throw a screwdriver into the hole to hold it up. This one is not near as oily. This thing's not too heavy, but it's not super light either. All right, so we are up under here. We want to go flush with the frame. We are flush. We're going to work it back. There we go. I don't know if I've got it in position to start some bolts or not, but we are going to try. Trying to find the bolt holes. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm trying to find the bolt holes. I might have shoved it on too far. We'll see. We got one bolt started. It actually went easier than I thought it would. Two bolts. And the third one is started. All right, so I can get to the bolt. We're gonna, for the crank joint, we're gonna start it, but we may not tighten it up yet. If I can get to it to tighten it from under there, we will. I don't know if I can, but we're gonna at least start it. We want to lock that thing on. It shouldn't slip or anything, because it is spline, but it is loose right now. So it may, there's a possibility it could slip. Don't know if I can get on there. All right, we're gonna have to, we've got it sort of tight. What we need to do now is, might bring y'all back under here. We're gonna have to center the steering wheel back up and shove the Pitman arm on. Actually, while we're up here, while y'all are up here, I'm gonna start these lines because they are dripping on me. Well, they're not dripping on me, they're just dripping down there. I'm staying away from the drips, but waste as little fluid as possible. Before we do that, before we go any further, we need to tighten up the gearbox. All right. Like I said, I put some blue Loctite on those. I'm probably going to look up torque specs on this. We're just going to snug them up for now, but I'll look up the torque specs and we will torque these down. Alright, now we can center the wheel. Now let's do the lines. I don't know if y'all can see down there or not. The sun is out like something fierce, and it's got the camera all washed out. So I can't really see the screen to see what y'all are seeing. So hopefully y'all can see. This wrench is just a little long. Come on. I might have to go up underneath and finish tightening that up. I can't get enough swing. Get that one off. That one's sitting on the firewall. Sorry. Blocking y'all's view. I'm trying to keep this one off the. I don't want it to rub or anything. There's just no room to work in here. Ow, right in my bucket of oil. I'll be back. Did not retrieve that one yet. I grabbed this wrench. This is the one I used on the injector lines. That was much easier to get in. It's just a skinnier wrench, and that shorter too. And that seems to be working well on here. I think that's tight. Should should be good. And there. See if I can get one more little tightening on this thing. Maybe. Will not fit that way. Come on. Slip on there. Oh, it almost got in there. Let me go find another 22. Okay, I grabbed a shorter 7/8. Should get us on here. Come on. Oh, it's so close. It's not quite short enough. Alright, let me get up underneath. Oh, my creeper's been out in the sun and man, it is hot. Alright. Let's see. I think that's all it needed. Feels tight. It was probably already tight enough. But we know for sure it is now. Alright, so let me take some time and center up the steering, or center up the wheels. Alright, we're going to have to do some work here. We'll have to get it close. And then we're going to have to go... Oops, sorry. We're going to have to get it close, because this is affecting the tires. And once we get it close, like that, we will go center the tires up. They are not centered up. I'm just looking down the vehicle. Lining them up. That's looking pretty good. Now we may have to adjust it again, but let's see what that does. Yeah, it's probably going to move. Alright, it's shoved on there. Let me see if it's centered up or if we're going to need to move it again. I'm gonna call that good. It looks centered. So we've got our blue Loctite. And we're gonna get our 36. I think we can use our, let's see. Alright, so we're going to put some blue Loctite on this nut. It had some on it. Well, couldn't tell on my original one, but the one from the parts car definitely had blue Loctite on it. got that on there. And everything under here is just nasty. We are on Titan. I'm gonna call that good. That is tight, tight, tight. So now we can turn the wheel to where we can get on the steering shaft to tighten up this whatchamacallit, this bolt that clamps down on the steering shaft. It's kind of snug, but we need to kind of put the final torque on it, and then we need to torque these 3 bolts down. All right. Rotate it around and tighten that back up. I've got it centered back, or tightened the, I didn't undo that one, the steering column side of the rag joint, but I rotated around and tightened down. And that's a 6mm, by the way. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but tighten that down. Torqued. What I found online said 60 foot-pounds. It was 80 Newton-meters for the bolts. 2 lines are tightened up. I think all we've got left, well, I will show you the steering wheel centered up, and it looks to me like it's just a hair to the left, maybe. I guess we'll tell more when we're driving it. But honestly, that one looks like it's out. It may be towed out. I might need to check the alignment on it again, because it may be off. But we're gonna try it and see. I don't have any help here with me to check the alignment, but that shouldn't have thrown off the alignment. We are going to now add transmission fluid. Alright, it's topped off. I actually overfilled it just a little bit, like to about that far from the top, because I know we've got some air in the system and we're gonna have to add some to it. So we're gonna start it up with it still jacked up, and we'll be able to turn the wheel back and forth to help bleed the system. Yeah, definitely got air in the system. I knew I'd have to add some. There. Topped it off. I do not see any leaks. Input's dry. And output is dry. So, let's see if we got all the air out now. Definitely works well. Turn it back and forth a bunch of times. one hand or one finger power steering. Of course, it's jacked up. Alright, that should be close. I mean, that should be all the air out. We'll check it. We may have to add some, or it may be good now. I'm gonna call that good. All right. That's it. Gearbox is swapped out. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more.